Sometimes I wonder where the songs that were once the most important in our lives end up. In the 60s, there were melodies that sold millions, won awards, and everyone whistled down the street. But today, for some strange reason, they seem to have been erased from collective memory. It's as if time decided to keep only the Beatles or Elvis and left behind these treasures that we are going to rescue from oblivion today. Today, we are going to dust off 13 records that were once the center of the universe, but history decided to put away in a drawer. Get ready, because you are going to rediscover melodies you didn't know you missed so much. Number 13. Baby It's You, Smith. When you hear that raspy, powerful voice at the start, you wonder how it's possible we forgot about Gail McCormick. This version has incredible strength, transforming a sweet pop song into a heart-wrenching soul rock anthem. In 1969, this track reached the top 5 on the charts, competing toe-to-toe with the giants of the era. The unfair part of the story is that the Beatles version, much softer and earlier, is the one that stuck in popular memory. However, Smith injected it with a visceral energy, with a Hammond organ roaring in the background, giving it a totally new dimension. It is the sound of a band, giving their all in the studio, capturing a moment of raw magic. The ending, with those passionate screams fading out, gives you goosebumps. It is proof that, sometimes, the cover surpasses the original, even if history takes 50 years to recognize it. But speaking of powerful voices that dominated the radio, the next spot was a giant. Number 12. Young Girl, Gary Puckett and the Union Gap.
Girl, get out of my mind.
That dramatic string introduction prepared us for a voice that seemed to come from another era. Gary Puckett had an almost operatic range, powerful and authoritative, that hit you right in the chest. It was one of the best-selling songs of 1968, playing in every corner of the planet and turning the band, with their Civil War soldier outfits, into superstars. However, time has been cruel to this hit. Due to its lyrics, dealing with a man fighting the temptation to love a girl who is too young, modern radio stations have been leaving it aside, considering it controversial by today's standards. It has gone from being a romantic anthem to a silently forbidden song. Despite the current controversy, the melody and vocal performance are impeccable. The orchestral ending is majestic. It is a time capsule, reminding us that morals change, but the musical quality of a good voice remains intact. But let's swap the drama for sunshine and flowers. The rain, the park, and other things. The Cowsills.
I saw her sitting in the rain.
I love the Flower Girl. That opening line is the pure essence of flower power. This song is bright pop, full of perfect family harmonies, because, in fact, they were a real family, the inspiration for the series The Partridge Family. It was the undisputed sound of the summer of 1967, a melody that made you smile instantly.
I know just why she simply caught my eye.
It's curious how a song that sold millions of copies and defined the gentle hippie aesthetic so well today seems like a sweet memory that no one mentions anymore. Perhaps its extreme innocence made it seem outdated when rock got harder in the 70s, but listening to it today is like receiving a bath of sunlight. The sound of rain and thunder at the beginning, mixed with those angelic voices, creates a beautiful urban fantasy atmosphere. It transports you to a park full of color where nothing bad can happen. But speaking of narratives and mysteries, the next spot kept everyone guessing for years. Number 10. Ode to Billy Joe, Bobby Gentry. A mystery told with an acoustic guitar and a haunting string section. Bobby Gentry told us, with a fascinating southern coolness, the story of a family eating quietly while discussing a neighbor's suicide. Everyone talked about what it was that Billy Joe and the narrator had thrown off the Tallahatchie Bridge.
They passed around the black-eyed peas.
It won Grammys and was an absolute #1, knocking the Beatles off the top. However, its narrative style, almost spoken and full of everyday details, got lost in the era of stadium rock and synthesizers. Today, it is a cult gem studied in songwriting classes, but rarely played on commercial radio.
Muddy water off the Tallahatchie Bridge.
The ending, with the strings imitating the sound of buzzing flies on a hot Mississippi day, leaves you with an overwhelming sense of loneliness. It is a masterpiece of atmosphere. But if we're talking about strange atmospheres, get ready for the most unusual psychedelic trip of the decade. Some Velvet Morning, Lee Hazelwood and Nancy Sinatra.
Some velvet morning.
This is a very strange and fascinating psychedelic trip. Lee Hazelwood sings with that deep baritone voice, almost like a stoned cowboy, about Greek mythology and Phaedra, while Nancy Sinatra responds with a sweet, ethereal melody that seems to come from a dream. At the time, it was an avant-garde hit, demonstrating that pop could be complex art.
Flowers.
The song changes rhythm constantly, moving from a slow 4/4 to a fast waltz, disorienting the listener in a delightful way. Today, it is a cult gem that few remember hearing on the radio, perhaps because it is too weird to fit into the usual oldies playlists, but its influence is enormous.
At us, but do not touch.
The ending, with the two voices intertwining in a dissonant harmony that fades out, leaves you with the feeling of having witnessed a secret ritual. It is proof that the 60s were a laboratory of boundless experimentation. But let's come back down to earth, to the sound of the factory and the office. Number 8, 5 O'Clock World, Le Vogues. The quintessential worker's anthem, that whistling at the start and the steady rhythm that seems to mark the pace of people leaving the office at 5 in the afternoon. It was a giant hit, capturing the euphoria of reclaiming your life at the end of the workday, with a yodeling chorus that was impossible not to imitate. Despite its massive success and how much people identified with the lyrics, the shine of hippie groups and the psychedelia that followed ended up overshadowing it. It was relegated to being a background song in movies about the 60s, losing the prominence it had as the voice of the working class. The bass and drum rhythm is so solid it makes your foot tap involuntarily. It is a song celebrating everyday freedom, that small daily victory. But speaking of health and feeling good, the next spot used a thermometer to measure love. Number 7, 98.6, Keith. A song about the perfect body temperature and love as medicine, with a very cheerful organ sound and a catchy chorus. The title refers to 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit, the normal human body temperature. It was a one-hit wonder that sat at the very top of the charts, dominating the airwaves in 1967.
She kissed me yesterday, hello, you silver light.
Today, however, only the most detailed collectors keep this vinyl. The singer, Keith, disappeared from the musical map quickly, and his song faded with him. It's a shame because it has impeccable pop production and contagious energy that lifts your spirits instantly. The ending, with the backing vocals repeating the magic number, is pure pop fun. It reminds us of a time when songs didn't need to be deep to be great. They just needed to make you feel good. And speaking of good vibes, the next track wanted to unite the world. Number 6. Reach Out of the Darkness, Friend and Lover. The definitive message of peace. I think it's so groovy now that people are finally getting together. This song captures all the positive, naive, and hopeful vibe of the late 60s. It played at every protest, every park, and on every radio, preaching unity between people beyond differences.
I knew a man that
It was a duo formed by a married couple, Jim and Kathy Post, which gave a special authenticity to the message of love. Today, it remains as a time capsule that few dare to open, perhaps because that optimism seems distant in today's cynical world. But listening to it is believing again that everything is possible. The acoustic rhythm and hand claps invite you to join the celebration. It is an anthem that should be taught in schools of emotional history. But if you prefer something with more grit and attitude, the next spot has the perfect bass riff. Little Bit O' Soul, the music explosion. Pure, hard garage rock. It has that opening bass riff that sticks to you on the first listen and doesn't let go. It was a certified gold hit that made millions of teenagers dance at their garage parties. The vocals have that perfect youthful arrogance that defines the genre. Being from a band that disappeared quickly from the radar, the song faded with them. It didn't have the marketing machinery of the Rolling Stones behind it to keep it alive, but musically it has nothing to envy them. It is concentrated energy in 2.5 minutes. The abrupt ending leaves you wanting to put the needle back to the start. It is the essence of what it meant to be young and in a band in 1967. But now, let's hop on a boat for an endless summer. Come on down to my boat, Every Mother's Son. Summer, beach, girls, and freedom. This song had all the ingredients to be an eternal classic, and for months it was, dominating the popularity charts. Its organ sound and vocal harmonies were the perfect invitation to leave worries on the shore and sail toward fun. Today, it is the definition of a song that sounds familiar, but no one remembers the name or the artist. It has become background music, losing its own identity. However, when you listen to it, you immediately unlock memories of sun and sand you thought were forgotten. The chorus is so catchy, it is impossible not to sing along. It represents that fleeting moment of fame many bands had before being swallowed by history. But speaking of curious instruments, the next hit made the green tambourine fashionable. Number 3. Green Tambourine, the Lemon Pipers. The sound of the tambourine and those strings going up and down with an echo effect. It was the first song of the bubblegum psychedelic genre to reach number 1. A worldwide hit mixing the innocence of pop with the strange sounds of the hippie era, creating something unique and fun. The band actually wanted to play serious rock and hated having to record this silly song, but it was the one that made them rich. Today, it feels like a distant dream, a sonic museum curiosity. The lyrics, about a street musician asking for coins, have a very particular urban charm. The ending, with the music fading into a psychedelic echo, is hypnotic. It is a song that perfectly defines the year 1968, although today it rarely appears on main compilations. But for the number 2 spot, we leave the words behind and go with pure technique. Number 2. Classical Gas, Mason Williams. a guitar instrumental that leaves you breathless. It won 3 Grammy Awards, and there wasn't a TV show that didn't play it in the background to show impactful images. It is a technical masterpiece mixing classical Spanish guitar with a pop orchestra at full speed. Mason Williams, who was a TV writer, composed it almost as an exercise and ended up creating one of the most famous instrumentals in history. Strangely, it no longer plays on classic radio stations, perhaps because it has no lyrics to sing, but every note is a word in itself. The final crescendo, with the horns and the guitar attacking at the same time, is epic. It makes you feel like you are watching an action movie. And we arrive at number 1, a song with its own language that closed the decade with light. Good Morning Starshine, Oliver. Straight out of the controversial musical Hair, it has those invented words in the chorus, glibby gloop gloopy, nibby nabby noopy, that everyone sang without understanding, but with overflowing joy. It was a radiant hit that closed the decade of the 60s with a message of cosmic hope. Oliver's voice is clear, powerful, and full of optimism. Although at the time it was a global phenomenon, today it seems to have been trapped on theater stages, forgotten by radio formulas. However, it is impossible to listen to it and not feel that the sun is coming out. The ending, repeating the chorus while the music swells, is a mantra of happiness. It is the perfect song to rescue from oblivion and start the day with a smile. Thanks for joining me on this journey of musical rediscovery.